Who are the best Lyn users? So Lyn is a speedy emblem that boosts speed, dex, and res. She also gives you Alacrity, Speedtaker, and the ability to create clones. And she gives you access to Astra Storm, the Manicotti, the Killer Bow, and the Mulagir, which is really good at shooting down dragons. So in this quick little tier list, I'm going to try to bang through this. Let's get rid of F tier. I don't think F tier is needed. In this tier list, we're going to go over who are the best users and why. So to start off, we have Alacrity. I would say he's decent for sniping things. Honestly, maybe B tier. He can't enemy phase very well. He's an archer. He can do well with speed fixing on Luna. He has the extra range on covert. He's just B. Alir, I would say, is A. Alir can benefit from the speed taker, from the speed. Alir has a lot of builds that double, a lot of builds at enemy phase. Alfred, I would say, is C. He is just decent. He has kind of like low bases, so you have to build him up. And if you build him up, he becomes kind of like a bad Alir in a way. So he's just not as good as Alir, so I just don't recommend it. Amber, there's definitely some potential there. He has high strength, so fixing his speed could push him over the edge. I don't really think he's worth it to invest in, but he could be decent. Anna, I think, is A. She can double pretty consistently, and getting her speed taker allows her to Alacrity very fast enemies and double very fast enemies. So she already has naturally high speed. She does require more investment, so I think Alir is a little bit better. Boucheron, I would say, is probably D tier, actually. He has low strength, so he's already fast. He has high build, so he just needs damage more so than speed, but he wouldn't really be the best user of this. Bunet, I'd also say, is D. Maybe about as good as Alfred. It's hard to say. He has like okay bases, but his growths are mediocre, and he doesn't really bring too much to the table to justify putting Lyn on him. Saline, she would be like here. She doesn't have the best offensive stats or the best base speed, so she's going to have a hard time doubling super fast enemies, which is one of the main reasons why you want Lyn on someone. Chloe, I think, is an easy S tier here. Well, maybe not. Maybe she's like A. I would put her in S, but she doesn't need that much speed. She's already very fast on most things you put her on, so she doesn't really benefit that much from Lyn, but she still is a good Lyn user. Maybe she's like low A. I feel like these benefit more because she has such better speed at base. Her base speed is very high. Citrine, I would say, is like C tier on Lyn. She wants something else. She's like, her speed is low, so she's not going to be doubling very consistently. Clan, if you invest in him, could be decent on this. He's one of these units, I'll put him like here. He's one of these units where if you invest in him early, he can be okay, but he's never going to be like a hard carry. Diamant, he actually would be pretty good on Lyn. He has pretty decent strength and strength growth as well as average speed and speed growth. But with Lyn, he would be doubling more consistently, and that would make him more viable. He would need this more so than these units. Like, these units are very fast. This unit is exceptionally fast, so he would benefit the most, but I feel like these would outperform him in general. Next, we have a bunch of emblems in the way. Etier, I would say, should be like around Alcris level. She would benefit from it. She's on a covert to begin with, so you can put her on sniper, but most people put her on warrior. But she would still benefit from the speed increase, putting her into doubling thresholds potentially. Fagato, I would say he's like here for Lyn. He's definitely better than Diamant. He has pretty good speed, but with extra Lyn speed, he could double fast enemies, so that'd be pretty decent. Fram on Lyn, I actually don't recommend this. I'd put her in like mid B tier. On Martial Master, Lyn is useless to her. On other classes like Mage Knight, she would be kind of like similar to Anna, but with worse magic, so that's a justification for that. Gold Mary, I think, actually would be potentially S, because she has really good defense. So her on Hero, it's like debatable how good it would be. Actually, no, maybe it would be. It could be S. So she's already naturally tanky. So if you wanted to make like a Bruiser Gold Mary, so this specifically would enable her to be fast enough to double pretty much everything in the game, which is very useful. She has really good defense and defense growth. So if you just fix her speed, she can kind of pop off. But it's hard to say if I would put her in low S tier, high A. I'll put her in high A. It's hard to say. It's hard to justify the S, to be honest. Ivy on Lyn. There could be an argument that Ivy on Lyn is S, but it's about as good as like Anna, so I'll put her in A. It's very similar to Anna. You enemy phase, you can bonded shield, you can one round a lot of things with magic. Hortensia, I wouldn't do it. She doesn't need the speed. She's already fast. She shouldn't even be going for kills anyways. She doesn't have that much damage. Maybe she's better. She's like about at Citrine level though. Jade would be like here, I think. She would be okay at it. She wouldn't be the best. She would just, get some speed fixing, be able to double some things on non-armor classes. You could try to go for speed taker armor. I don't think that's been done before, or at least not commonly, but you could try it. It might be okay. Jean, I'll put him next to Anna. They're like very similar. They're both like these pupil archetypes that need some investment, but he could pop off on a lot of different classes, but definitely not like S tier level, because his speed is decent, and because he requires so much investment, I don't want to put him in S. Kagetsu, I feel like Kagetsu is very similar to Chloe here, where he has enough speed that he doesn't need Lyn, so he's not the best user of Lyn. So I feel like they're really similar, because by the time you get him, her stats should be pretty comparable. And he has a few chapters before he can wyvern up. Let me zoom out. There we go. All right, so we can actually see the dudes. Lapis, I feel like Lapis is similar. I don't think she wants Lyn either. I feel like a lot of these units are so fast, they don't need Lyn, but they would still be good on her. Louis, I would say, is like similar to Jade. Some people argue Bonet and Jade are similar. Mavier, I feel like he would just be like high B tier. He's decent, but you're not going to be able to engrave his stuff, because by the time you get him, it's so late. Most of your units are going to have engravings and upgrades, so he's going to have access to limited resources. So giving him one of the best offensive rings in the game for speed fixing probably isn't the best idea, to be honest. Marin, I feel like a lot of these are just like A tier. I feel like Lyn, a lot of Lyn users are just like so fast, they barely need her. So like the units that benefit the most from Lyn tend to be slower units. Pandreo might be S because of his avoid stacking. Like without any other extra help or any like build considerations, like just party animal plus of the avoid stacking plus his speed. This might be, I mean, you could argue these are S too, but I feel like these are better off on other things. And I kind of feel like he could be a Lyn user, but he might be better off on other things too. So I kind of want to put him next to Kagetsu. Oh wait, hold on. Let me move these guys down. Let me move these to like here. Then Ivy. Alir. I think Alir should go like there. Gold Mary should go here. All right, I think that's more accurate. I don't think there's going to be many S tiers, to be honest, for this emblem. Even Panette, like, Panette just doesn't want this. She just wants to crit things in one hit. So honestly, I'm going to put her in, like, low A, because she doesn't even want it. She just wants, like, she wants other things for crit build. You can speed fix her, but there's no point. Like, there's just better builds for her. Saphir, I would say, is kind of similar to Mavier. Rosado, I don't like his base strength, so I'll put him in, like, mid-B. Sadal should just stay on Dancer. Linden could be good on this. He could be like high B. Okay, and then Tamara. I feel like Tamara doesn't want Lyn. I feel like she'd be like a B tier Lyn user. She wants other things. Vander, get out of here. Vale. I feel like Vale could be good with speed fixing. I think I'm gonna delete S tier, to be honest. I don't think anyone's like an S tier Lyn user, because like Lyn doesn't break the game, so I don't even think Lyn is S tier in general. But Vale has like decent base speed and kind of bad speed growth, but with Lyn she could double more consistently, so that would push her up in viability. Let's see, Unaka. Don't you Unaka it until you try it. Probably like low A. She's fast, so she's fast. I feel like she wants like Corrin or something else, but she could be fast enough, stack speed, get like knife precision or something. So then you get the avoid from the speed taker, you get the avoid from the knife precision. Then if you're on an avoid tile, you're very hard to hit. Maybe even like a dual support build, like dual support with speed taker could be good. Get her doubling thresholds. Zelkov, I feel like, would be similar. I feel like these would be very similar. They're very samey. They have kind of similar stats. He just has better build and better strength, but she has better res. So, like, there's trade-offs to both. And then for the DLC units, Gregory is so slow, I don't think it's worth it to try to fix his speed. His base speed is 13 on Sage, which is abysmally low. Madeline is in a similar position, so I guess let me bump the tanks down. Let me put all the tanks. Let me put all the tanks in like C tier. I don't think these are the best Lyn users. She's a pretty good Lyn user. She's like up here. I feel like these are like kind of tied for first. I think they're very close. She has better availability than these, but these have better bases. So like there's trade-offs. For Nell, I feel like he's very much like Panette. Let me move these down. I feel like he's much like Panette. He just wants to crit things. He doesn't care about... Move you down, Jesus. Then Jean. Maybe Jean's like here. I'll rearrange things as I go. For Celestia, she's like one of these. I think these are all tied for first, and there's pros and cons to them. DLC availability, early availability can power level to be similar to these, and it's great all game. DLC, let's put the DLCs together. All right, so let's rearrange these based on order. So Ivy has accuracy issues, so she needs an engraving. Anna has early investment issues, so I feel like they're kind of the same in a way. Lapis and Goldberry very similar in terms of Lyn usage. These both want crit build, but they could be good on it because then they could double in crits, which I don't even know if it's useful, to be honest. I don't know that it's the best use of them. So like, let's say you want to go for like a doubling, I don't know, Silver Axe, a doubling Tomahawk build, a quadding Brave Axe build. That could enable that, so that's why they're in A tier. So they could do more than just run crit builds. So this would be for non-crit build. I do think it'd be better off on these. Some people might argue Alchrist is A tier because he's like that covert and you get that super snipe. Outside of the super snipe, though, he's not the best enemy phaser, and enemy phasing matters even if you're only doing it occasionally. If you're only attacking, it's definitely better. Fram being in here, so this would be assuming she's on some kind of combat class like Mage Knight. And I do think she is better than Alchrist because she can enemy phase on Mage Knight. But I do think she's better than her brother because she levels up for free. And I do think she's better than Amber, Rosado, Mavier, Saphir, and Linden. So Fram Mage Knight is actually pretty strong. It's debatably like an A tier build. I don't think there are S tier Lyn users personally because Lyn can't really do... I feel like people overhype Lyn so much. Like, outside of, like, speedtaker and Alacrity, like, you have Astra Storm doubles and, like, pulling a bow out. So it's not, like, the best thing. But I do think that physical units are better. I'm sorry, he's not a physical unit. I do think that physical units are better Lyn users. Whoops, I meant to move Pandreo down here. Physical units are better than magical units. On Lyn, because you have access to physical bows, and higher strength means bigger might for shooting down flyers, so you can pull a bow out, shoot down flyers. You can Astra Storm more effectively. So I feel like these are like the best Lyn users if you're going to be running Lyn, and then the rest are just kind of decent. But that's pretty much it for this one. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoy this. Feel free to drop a comment if you agree or disagree and why. I have added channel membership, so you can be a member of the channel. It's $5 a month. You get access to a little badge, and there are unique emotes for when I live stream. I'm going to be adding more emotes as I go. The more members, the more emotes I can add. But yeah, thanks for checking this out. Peace.